Nonetheless, we're processing loans at a pace never achieved before. In the first 24 hours of the second round of funding, we've handled over 30% more loans than any previous day of the program. So far, we've processed an amazing 450,000 loans totaling over $50 billion. That's in phase 2. That's incredible. Along with Administrator Carranza and Secretary Mnuchin, Ivanka has played an essential role in spearheading this important program. Incredible role. That's what she wants to do. She wants to help people. From the beginning of my administration, Ivanka has used her experience as an entrepreneur to fight for the American worker. She's created many jobs. That's what she did when she first came in. She just wanted people to be able to get jobs and job training. Went to the biggest companies anywhere in the world that are located in our country, and they would take hundreds of thousands of people and train them. And I think you got up to almost 15 million people, right? 15 million. She started off with a goal of 500,000. She wanted to get 500,000, and she is now on almost 15 million people. And I'd like to ask, if I might, Ivanka, to say a few words as to what's exactly happening today, what's happening over the next week, and what her views are for what's going to happen over the next period of time. It's going to be something I think it's going to be very special and bigger and better than anybody really understands. Let's see if I'm right about that. Ivanka, please.
Well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Mr. President, for convening this incredible group of entrepreneurs and small business owners who very much represent the soul and the spirit, the grit and the tenacity of America's small business owners across the nation. So we're grateful to each and every one of you for joining us here today, and very excited to hear your stories and hear specifically about how you're going through this challenge and how through the Payment Protection Program and through the PPP, you are able to keep your workforce employed. It's about your businesses thriving and growing within your communities. It's about your workforce, who each of you cares very dearly about. And I'd like to make a special call out of thanks to Secretary Mnuchin for his tireless work on this front. So if you'd like to come up and join us, we would appreciate that, Secretary. And SBA Administrator Carranza, thank you. You have been such a champion for America's small business. If you'd also like to come up and join us. And Larry Kudlow, thank you for all that you do in fighting for American workers. With that, I would like to kick us off by introducing Amy Wright to come up to the stage and share with us a little bit of her story. She has created an amazing business that stemmed from personal experience and very much her heart, and it's been an honor getting to know you, Amy, as you really embody the spirit of small businesses around this country. Amy, because of the PPP program, was able to rehire the 120 workers that she was forced to lay off. And now those workers, all of which have some form of disability, are able to bring cheer and bring comfort to your clients as you're serving them. So Amy, if you'd like to come up and share your story. And Michael, her great colleague, is here today as well, who could share his perspective. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Ivanka, Mr. President. I am so honored to be joined by my employee, Michael, who you will hear from in just a moment. Biddy and Beau's Coffee is more than a coffee shop. It's a human rights movement. We employ 120 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and for most of them, it's their first paying job, which made the decision for us to temporarily close all 5 of our shops especially difficult. But thanks to the Paycheck Protection Program and the incredible team at Live Oak Bank, all 120 of our employees are back on the payroll today and working from home, writing handwritten notes that we include with each online order we ship. I know everyone is ready to return to normal, but I believe it's time for a new normal, one where people with disabilities are valued, especially in the workplace. As a recipient of the PPP loan, we will continue to take up the charge and help everyone, especially people with disabilities, pursue the American dream. And Michael, would you like to say?
Sure. I just hope this thing isn't too big for me. So to you, President Trump and Ivanka, thanks a lot for inviting us. Thank you, Mr. President, for having us. I love my job, and I am excited about going back to work. At B&Bose, we like to use the phrase called not broken. That means me and all my amazing coworkers are not broken, and we have lots to offer. I know the great country of the United States isn't broken either. So on behalf of myself, Megan, and Amy, and all the employees of B&Bose, thank you for inviting us over.
Thank you very much, Michael.
You guys are our family. Love you guys.
Thank you, Mr. President. Some health experts say the U.S. needs 5 million tests per day by June in order to safely reopen. You unveiled a plan yesterday that will increase testing, but not by that much. Why not? And can you get to that benchmark?
Well, it will increase it, and it'll increase it by much more than that in the very near future. We're way ahead of everyone on testing. We haven't been given the press in terms of, I think, fairness of the press, but that's okay, and that's why I appreciated the statement before by Yahoo. We are way ahead on testing. We are the best in the world on testing. We've tested much more than anybody else times 2. Or every country combined. We've tested more than every country combined. And they keep talking about South Korea, and I'm very friendly, as you know, with President Moon, who just had a great victory, a new victory, as we're very happy about. But he will tell you how well the United States has done on testing, and he told me that very strongly. The quality of our test is the best, and the number is the best. Now, with all of that being said, we will be going to an even higher number, and it goes up exponentially. And I've told you that. We inherited a very broken test, a broken system and a broken test, and within a short period of time, we were setting records. So we have set records. We've done more than the entire world combined. We've done more than any other country in the world. So I think we've done a really good job. Now, with that being said, not everybody feels as strongly about testing as others. We have some governors that are very strong on testing. We have other governors, frankly, that aren't nearly as strong on testing. Their test is much more modest, and their real test is when people stop getting sick, and they'll be able to do that too. And I understand both systems very well. But we're going to maximum testing, even though some people won't even want to use it.
I hear you saying you're confident you can surpass 5 million tests per day. Is that?
Oh, well, we're going to be there very soon. If you look at the numbers, it could be that we're getting very close. I mean, I don't have the exact numbers. We would have had them if you asked me the same question a little while ago, because people with the statistics were there. We're going to be there very soon. We're really doing. I mean, I watched your report on NBC today, and it was an incorrect report, because we're really doing a great job on testing. Unfortunately, the administration, the people that work our government, hasn't been given the kind of credit that it deserves. Last month it was about ventilators. Now we have so many that we're able to give them to Italy, France, Spain. Other countries have been asking us for ventilators. We're making over 150,000. We've distributed thousands and thousands. New York is in great shape with what we've done, as you know. New Jersey's in great shape. We spoke just recently. Ivanka just spoke with the governor, and they're in very good shape with the ventilators. I mean, everybody has, and most of them have far more than they'll ever need. They're starting to send them back. So nobody went without a ventilator, and yet if you read the media from a month and a half ago, it was all about ventilators. And ventilators are tough. That was a tough thing, but we should be very proud of our country. We took assembly lines and they converted from cars and other things into ventilators. And the job that we've seen has not been seen since World War II. What they have done in terms of the manufacture of very high-grade ventilators is amazing. So now we don't hear about that. And I noticed that the testing is starting to die down, because we now have the best testing anywhere in the world by far, and we have more. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I'm happy about it. We had a call yesterday with governors, and I will say that I'm sure many of you were on that call, even though you shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been, Amy, but they were. I wonder how that happened. But you heard the governors were thrilled. Now, the following day, if you'll get a Democrat on the call, they'll say, you know, I saw some of them today. They were so thrilled yesterday on a call that they thought it was a close call. And today they were good, but they weren't the same as they were yesterday because that's the business. They want to try and win on November 3rd. But we're doing a job the likes of which nobody's ever done. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about people in the Army Corps of Engineers, where we built hospitals, where we built thousands and thousands of beds all over the country. New York, what we did was incredible. 2,900 beds in a matter of days. What they've done is so incredible. And FEMA, what they've done, and the doctors and the professionals and all of the people that you see me with all the time. You know, these are great people, and they've really done a great job. And now our country's opening up again, and I think it's going to be very, very successful. I think that, I mean, Larry is here. We talked about it, and we talk about it all the time. I think that third quarter, it's obviously a transition quarter, but I think it's going to be okay, maybe better than okay. Larry thinks better than okay. I think even more so than I do. And then I think fourth quarter will be great. And I think next year is going to be a tremendous year for this country.
Mr. President, you said at the top of your remarks that you feel the worst of the pandemic is behind us. But without a treatment, without a vaccine, and states now reopening, how can you be so sure?
Well, I think that, like other things, hopefully we're going to come up with a vaccine. You never know about a vaccine, but tremendous progress has been made. Johnson & Johnson and Oxford and lots of good things. You've been hearing the same things as I do. Tremendous progress has been made, we think, on a vaccine. You always have to say think, and then you have to test it, and that takes a period of time. But a lot of movement and a lot of progress has been made on a vaccine. But I think what happens is it's going to go away. This is going to go away. And whether it comes back in a modified form in the fall, we'll be able to handle it. We'll be able to put out spurts. And we're very prepared to handle it. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about it, the invisible enemy. It's a bad enemy. It's a very tough enemy, but we've learned a lot. It's in 184 countries, as you hear me say often. It's hard to believe. It's inconceivable. It should have been stopped at the source, which was China. It should have been stopped very much at the source, but it wasn't. And now we have 184 countries going through hell. But I think that a lot of good things are going to happen, and I really believe that fourth quarter is going to be maybe tremendous, and the next year I think has a chance to be really getting close to record setting. We hope so. We hope we can be back where we were. We had the strongest economy anywhere in the world, and I hope we're going to be back there again. We're going through a period of time, the likes of which we've never seen in this country before. Certainly, even if you go back into 1917, it was the worst of all time, but it was also not as bad here. It was very bad. It was very rough. It was a bad one, but it wasn't quite like what we're going through right now. And it's because of the amazing, when you look at how contagious this is, where people literally just being in the same area with other people, it catches. So I'm very proud of this country, I have to say. I'm very proud to be your president, and I'm very proud of this country. Thank you very much, everybody.